Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond Normal podcast, where we highlight minority business owners and founders, and we use this platform to shed light on their entrepreneur journey. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Beyond Normal podcast. I have two very special guests with me, Reina and Brittany. They are the co-founders of Comfy Eats. I appreciate them being on for an episode. We're going to talk snacks and what led to them wanting to create a business that's all about snacks in 2020. Thanks for coming on for episode.
Yeah, thanks
for having us.
All right. So I know we had a couple questions that we lined up to kind of walk through with the script, guys, but I want to throw a curveball at you both. Where you are in the millennial age and they're all about emojis and just, symbols representing things. Like, what emoji do you guys feel like represents Comfort Eats?
Oh, I feel like that's the easy one right now.
Is that too easy?
It's easy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely easy.
The smiley face hugging the heart. That's
okay.
Yeah, our logo is a heart with a smiley face that's eating.
It is. So, yeah. Oh man, I should have thought of a harder curveball.
That's a gimme.
Yeah, that was a gimme. That was a gimme. That was a gimme. I didn't. Yeah, your logo really is a smiley face. Dang it. All right. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but let's get into first off, I want to spend some time with you guys, just giving a little bit of background to the folks, prior to you going down the path and starting the company as co-founders together.
Yeah, so I can start. So my background is in product management, and I actually met Reina when I started working at Redbox, and this was in 2012, I believe. And I was assigned to like this new product called Tickets, and Reina was the graphic designer on our team. And we quickly became friends, and food was at the core of our friendship. But we've been friends ever since, even though we changed jobs. And then eventually Reina moved out the country after she got married and moved to New Zealand. But yeah, we always had a strong friendship. And then when this idea kind of came to be, which I know we'll get into a little bit later, it just made sense for us to kind of do it together. So,
and our friendship was kind of based on, snacks was a component. We used to have our girl nights every week, and we would just like order pizza and have snacks and watch our favorite shows together. And that was like the highlight of my week. And even at work, it was like, oh, girl, that meeting was hard. Here, have a, M&Ms or have a Snickers. And we would leave little notes on each other's desks and stuff. So, yeah, snacks and working together. That was always part of our kind of the thing that brought us together.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. And like you said, the friendship has always been at the heart of this company for you both. So I guess what sparked the idea, thinking that, okay, there's this snack tradition, like you guys always felt like snacks was at the heart of your friendship. Like, what led to you guys saying, this is probably a business?
Yeah, it really was all because Reina moved to New Zealand 2016. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 16. So like I went to visit her shortly after she moved for like my big birthday trip. So I went to New Zealand and Australia for like 3 weeks, and she came with me on part of the trip, and like we got to explore the South Island, and we did a bunch of cool stuff. But part of that trip, my biggest suitcase was full of snacks for her. And then I visited New Zealand probably 3 more times or 2 more times since that point. It seemed like every 6 months I was there for some reason or another. And then every time was the same thing, just bringing some of the things that she missed from home, like Chips Ahoy or seasonings or, whatever kind of she couldn't get locally. Marshmallows was a big thing. And then on one of my long flights back, I just like clicked in my head that like clearly she's not the only expat or immigrant out there that are missing comfort foods from home. And then just remembering how much joy that it brought her and like a connection to home, that I was like, this has to be a business. And then I kind of thought back on my experience of before I went down to see her, I wanted to like send her a care package for her birthday, with some of those things, but all I could find were like predetermined packages that you just, you spent $60 and it had maybe one of the things that she wanted, and that didn't seem like a gift. you know and then that wasn't even including like shipping. And so like all of that kind of together kind of just was like, we should start something. And then I think I told you like really randomly during one of our catch up, like, hangout sessions, what do you think about this name or this name? I think you're starting a business. And you're like, Comfort Eats. And you're like, I want to do it with you. And then, the rest is history.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to be a part of it from the beginning. Not only because I'm, one of the key like customers, like I understand where a customer would be coming from, but the other thing is like I love giving is my love language. And so the idea of giving other people like me all around the world like the comfort of home, comfort of having like Cracker Jacks while they're streaming baseball from like New Zealand. That's something that I wanted to give as well. And then I knew that Brittany was like a, project manager genius. And then I know how to do like graphic design and brand management. So I thought, oh man, we're going to kill this thing.
I love it. I love hearing that. And it's just like, I don't know why, but from the very beginning, it seems like there was just a synergy or something for you guys to just work together, and things just naturally worked out. And one of the things you guys told me before too was, I thought was pretty cool. Like there's like this focus now on like healthy snacks and like, that being like the trendy thing, the soy and just the different versions. But you guys have stuck to your original kind of mantra, I guess, right? In terms of junk food, right? That's at the core of of the product that you guys have, right? It's junk food. Why is that why is that still a part of like the purpose of the company, and why haven't you guys transitioned to healthy, gluten-free like you've seen a lot of other businesses do?
Yeah, we say we're unapologetically passionate about our junk food. And I think that junk food in reason is self-care. Sometimes when you're going through a hard time, you just need, a Snickers or a Cheeto or something. And I think that's okay sometimes. And there are a lot of companies out there doing healthy snacks, but I don't think that there are a lot of companies out there that are selling a connection to home in the way that we sell it, especially some of the regional snacks that are only Chicago based, or, only, those Southern style biscuits that you crave. Like, to us, that's it rejuvenates the soul, and that's something that we are very passionate about.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, you can, when we're thinking about like what we do, like at the core of it, we sell that connection, that comfort that Reina mentioned, that connection to home. And when you think about your childhood, like who thinks about Wheaties? So maybe some people think about Wheaties, but like I think about, like people think about s'mores or the things that they used to love growing up, and all those memories that are attached to the foods. And that's kind of what we want to recreate for people. And when we hear customers tell us that, I haven't had these in years, I haven't had like Lucky Charms. Oddly enough, Lucky Charms is a very popular cereal. But it's like, it's not something that you would probably think about, and like, I haven't had these things for years, or now I get to introduce my child to gingerbread houses or candy corn, and like have that, argument within our family during the holidays. Because like it makes you feel, connected. It takes you back to the nostalgia. And that's kind of what we want. We want more than just, snacks. It's comfort. So
I appreciate that. And Lucky Charms is one of the best cereals I've ever had. So like you just said, like that's like a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer, right? And so I appreciate you guys sharing that there. And so you guys have had this synergy. You built out this product, right? You both come from kind of a technical or like a user interface background. And so you guys have been able to craft the product the way that you want it to. When I think about, wearing the hat of a founder or business owner, right? One of the things we like to highlight here on the Beyond Normal podcast is around, just like kind of the pros and cons, like some of the things that you learn as you're running your business. What's something that you learned throughout this process of you getting your business to where it is right now that you wish that you could have, you could hop in a time machine and go back and tell yourself maybe 2-3 years before that you feel like would have put your business in a stronger situation than what you are in right now?
Reina, do you want to start?
Yeah, so I think one thing is that I touched on it before with Brittany knowing how to do businessy type things and me knowing how to do design type things. I figured, well, that's all a business needs, a business person and a design person, right? But as we continued on, we discovered actually there are a lot of things that you need for a business that are well outside the skill set of a business person or a design person. And we had to kind of seek those people out, seek those experts out. We tried to learn as much as we can to kind of keep it bootstrapped and keep it lean. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, am I going to spend 3 weeks trying to learn how to work SEO and keywords and get our webpage to the top of Google, or are we just going to hire someone and so that way I can invest in other places? And that's really the trickiest bit. I think one of the trickiest bits is figuring out what things you want to invest your time in and what things are best to just pay and have someone do for you.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I think at the, when you start, you focus on like your lack of resources. Like, I don't have the money to do this, but I need to be on all of the platforms. I need to like do email and SEO, like all of the things. But I think one of the things that like I had to learn and continuously tell myself is that my time is most valuable, because on a small team like this, like our time is like really the most valuable resource. And so if we break it down, like if we're gonna spend some money, we're either spending 3 weeks like Reina said of my time, which equates to, let's say, $5,000 or more, or you can spend $2,000 and have someone knock it out in like a week and a half, right? And then they have that level of expertise, and I'm not finagling around with it for the next 3 months. And so really, like, it does just come down to like a cost benefit analysis in that respect. Another thing is how important, what's the word? Not referrals, but references are. We've got burned a couple of times by not like really checking people's references. We'll just take like recommendations, like, oh, I know this person, this does this thing. They send us like a proposal that makes sense. And then, they kind of fall short in one way, shape, or form.
Always check the portfolio, even if it's a friend's recommendation. We definitely learned that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys gave a lot there. That's a lot.
Like there's a number. I can like list off a dozen. Like the last one that I'll share though is that this shit takes time. And I would say, like, I feel like, I won't speak for you, Reina, but I feel like in the normal life, in the work life, I'm used to like getting things and moving on to the next thing. You can call that like being an overachiever or whatever, but I just, whatever you want to call it. But building a business from scratch, it takes time, and there are things that you just can't fast track. Like how long it's going to take for you to get a business license, or like, how long people are going to trust you to find someone off the internet and give their money to, like it just takes time. And we're, like 18 months into this thing already, which seems ridiculous. Yeah. But now like we're starting to get good traction and things, but definitely those first 3 months of the store being open, I was like, depressed, and I was like, what's gonna happen? Because like I expected it just to take off instantaneously. And that's just not how business works, or building a business works, I should say.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Snacks for Thought segment. You guys just gave them the whole entire book, the whole entire game. I was just looking for one or two, but all of those, I think the last 5 minutes, or maybe it was 6-7 minutes, will be individual sound bites. Those are all, like, you guys just really just went through the whole gambit in terms of sharing some of the things that you've learned. And I appreciate that, because there's people out there that are probably on the fence a lot of times around going into and starting their own business and what it takes. And then there's some of these preconceived notions that people have. Mm-hmm. And you guys have really, you guys took the step, which I think, that's the first step, right? Just taking that courage to take a gamble on yourself. But then as you guys are going through things and knowing that everything's not going to end up the right way, initially you guys are persevering through that. So I appreciate you guys sharing all of that, because everything that you guys just said between you, Brittany and Reina, is gold. Those are all gems that people should take account and just take mental note of when they're looking to start their own business. Mm-hmm. Hey, so one thing that didn't get brought up, I wanted to bring up the dad test. Because this dad test, this is a shout out to all the dads out there. I just had to throw this plug out there because we have a great dad experience. Dads are out here enabling entrepreneurs, but I wanted to see if you could share that experience around the dad test.
Yeah, so I have a background in user testing. And so we decided to do usability testing on the website and have some people take a look and just observe them and ask them questions. And one of the main questions was, without having to tell them and without them knowing what Comfort Eats was, I wanted them to use the website and then explain to me what they thought the website was or who the audience was. And so we had people all around the world that did the usability testing. And then I asked my dad to do the test as well. And I asked him to be brutally honest, and I know that he is. And so he did the test, and then I asked him, who do you think the site is for? And without getting in trouble, I'll say that he said that he thought it was for ladies who weren't feeling so well. Like it was like a delivery service for ladies. And it had never even occurred to me. But when I looked back through that lens, I saw that all our images only contained women. And it was like them, like in like cuddly blankets, holding a donut or whatever. So it did totally seem that way once I saw it through that eye. And although it did get my dad in trouble with my mom, it was really helpful for us to see that, and also helpful for us to realize that we should make sure to have a diverse group of people working on Comfort Eats and giving us feedback so that we don't miss key elements like that.
Yeah.
Nah, that story is amazing. I don't know why, but even the first time you told me that, I was just like it doesn't take a lot, right? It doesn't take financial resources or anything like that to get the ball moving. In certain instances, it just takes you kind of going to people and asking them what they think. And you asked your dad, and he was completely honest, which parents usually are completely honest. So when you're asking for some objective feedback, I think dads may be the way to go based off of that story.
Yeah. Shout out to the dads.
Yes, shout out to the dads. And so on a more of a serious note, we've been talking snacks and you guys building out this great business model. Around the conversations that we're currently having around social injustice, really, I think some of those conversations started being highlighted in the States, and now it's worldwide. Reina, you're in New Zealand. What are your thoughts around the spotlight being put on these conversations now worldwide? We're in the political race right now. There's so much going on right now around this, but what can you guys share with the audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear, right? I'm a Black woman. Reina is a Latina. and we're proud to be, you know, of the backgrounds that we are. And so clearly Black Lives Matter, and we love that, and we're happy that these conversations are happening. It's beyond time for it to happen, and I'm happy to see that something maybe is moving in the future. But you know, when it comes to Comfort Eats, we love the fact that we've created this experience and this brand for people that at times can be what's the word, like
a break from
a break
life.
Yeah, that's exactly a break from all of the things that are happening around the world. Because like you said, we lean into the comfort, you know, we lean into the self-care, and sometimes you do need a break, you know, from fighting injustice on a daily basis, and you need to lay back with a box of Rice Krispie treats that are on my desk right here. But you know, we make sure that we're doing our part. You know, we support all different types of people, and like I said, clearly, you know, us having the backgrounds that we do, it's embedded in our company. You know, you go to our site and you see people of all different races and colors, and that was like a conscious thought. Our team, even though you're only talking to me and Reina, like we have a couple of interns, we make sure that we hire diverse candidates and we look for them. We want those perspectives in the brand that we're building. And like ideally, you know, my goal is to be able to build this international organization full of, you know, expats and immigrants and people from all walks of life. Because at the end of the day, like snack, like we're selling comfort, and it's for everyone, you know what I mean? So
and we don't just post like a thing on Facebook. We actually really live it. Like Brittany said, we make a conscious effort through the brand and our hiring practices and the people that we engage with to make sure that we talk the talk as well, and give those opportunities to minorities or any groups that may have been overlooked in the past. I know with me, if you know someone didn't take a chance on me when I was a fresh college student, and we love mentoring. We love hiring young talent and really mentoring them and talking to them not only about how it is to be a graphic designer, how it is to be a business owner, but also how it is to be a Latino woman in the workplace, or how it is to, you know, be a woman at all in the workplace. Things like that we're very passionate about, and that's always an undercurrent in everything that we do with Comfort Eats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like hearing that, and you know, I think you guys touched on two big topics there. Just around you know, in the social in media lately, there's been some big corporations. We don't need to say their names, but in terms of just the access or the pipeline of diverse talent, they're kind of saying in certain instances they don't see it. And so I appreciate you guys, you know, taking that extra initiative just to make sure that's a priority for your business, right? And it may not necessarily mean that, you know what, you're always going to hire Black and brown talent. But you guys are going to make sure that you do your part to make sure there's representation, and to the point that you guys have been saying, right, in terms of everybody needs comfort food, right? It doesn't matter your age, your sex, your race, like none of these things really matter in terms of your audience base outside of you just saying you want to be able to sell to everybody. Everybody needs comfort food. Everybody needs snacks in their life. And so it would make sense that a company that has that kind of mantra, that mission, would have diverse individuals, have some dads in there, you know, have folks from just different backgrounds in there that can add value. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a specific demographic. And then I think the second thing is you guys taking the initiative upon yourself to really create this business. Especially during COVID, I actually had to go back and pull the numbers. But you know, there's some kind of jaw-dropping numbers in terms of the amount of African-American business owners and Latino business owners that are losing their businesses during this time. I think the last stat that I saw said African-American business ownership is down 41% in America. And I think Latino, as I pulled it up right now, it's going down from going down to 17%, going down 17% just during COVID. And so those are really, really jaw-dropping numbers, obviously. And so I think on the flip side of that, the opportunity that I'm seeing is that business owners like yourselves, you guys are kind of blazing that path for the next group of business owners to come along and for people to take that gamble on themselves. And so I see those numbers and I say, oh, the business numbers are down overall. But what I'm excited for the Beyond Normal podcast is to be able to, watch you guys grow. And then you guys are going to really inspire more Latino and African-American business owners, right, to take that gamble and ultimately start their own business. So I appreciate you both really highlighting those two things that you just did, because I think we're going to be in a mode, it feels like we're going to be in a mode of creation over the next few years. And you guys are definitely blazing that path.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It hasn't been easy, and every day is like, today is not an easy day, but but I think what helps us get through is that we focus on the impact that we're making and the people that we're bringing joy to. And like we mentioned earlier, that with all the craziness going around in the world, like the world needs a little bit more joy, right? And so we're kind of doing our part in that respect. And so when I'm like juggling 4 jobs and and staying up late to watch the election, it's like you'll get a message from a customer that says, you helped me recreate a memory with my kids, from my grandmother, and that really touched my heart, and I don't want to cry and all of that stuff. And you're just like, that's why we do this. And so you got to make sure you know what your why is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And so in closing, I want to make sure that I pass it to you both. Let people know how they can reach out and get their comfort food fixes from Comfort Eats.
Yeah, so we have this great site, www.comforteatsdelivery.com. And we are also on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And anything else I missed, Brittany?
Those are the main ones. Like, we have a YouTube channel that you can search for. We have some good travel videos. So, we'll kind of give you a little insight into places that we've gone before. But yeah, Instagram, Facebook is kind of where we live at. And we're also starting a little bit on Pinterest. But for anyone who lives abroad or studying abroad, or even domestically, you want to send somebody something really fun, we can help you out with that too. So we actually have a fair amount of customers in Florida who miss Jay's barbecue chips that we have. So it's not just international folks. So
yeah, we just started doing corporate boxes as well. So for companies that want to give their expat employees a little taste of home, we do that service as well.
That's awesome. And Brittany and Reina are being somewhat modest in terms of their social media. I went to Comfort Eats on Google, and I think it feels like the first entire page is you guys. So you guys have social media on lockdown. I'm going to get like that one day, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Everything social media Comfort Eats, they have it on lockdown, seriously. And in closing, I want to thank Brittany and Reina for hopping on an episode, sharing their journey. Looking forward to seeing their growth and actually ordering my own comfort food boxes from them as well. Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond Normal podcast, everybody.
All right. Nice to meet
you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for tuning in to the Beyond Normal podcast. We can be streamed across all major streaming platforms in addition to YouTube. Come back again.